Hello again. Okay, we're going to continue talking about codependency. I want to piggyback off the last video, so if you haven't seen that one, go back and watch that. That was just my last post. So I want to expand a little bit more on what I finished with that one, and what I've realized recently that I had no clue about before was that codependency, it doesn't serve me and it doesn't serve my person, whoever I'm being codependent with. And there are so many layers to that idea. It's unbelievable. So I'm just going to unpack that a little bit. And gosh, that term. Anyway, so, okay, so I'm going to give an example in a couple of recent situations I've had, without giving specifics on people in that type of scenario. But anyways, so generally speaking, this is what was going on. Someone made a choice that I was surprised by and upset by. I mean, it like sent a ripple through me, and I was like, I felt so betrayed and disappointed and so upset. And I was just like swimming in disappointment. And honestly, I used to say the mantra of my first 30 years was disappointment. And now I'm understanding exactly why. And it's because I have been so codependent. And so when this person made a choice about their own life, which is absolutely 100% okay to do, always, and did not do it didn't make that choice the way I would have wanted them to, or communicated in a way that I would have wanted them to, I was so frustrated. I was very hurt, and it all felt very real. I felt very justified in having the reaction that I did. And it took me longer than I would have hoped to understand that what they chose really has zero things to do with me. Like literally nothing, because it's their life. And who am I? Who am I to insert myself into that situation and say, excuse me, you forgot to consider me when you made this choice for your own life and how it would affect me, and you didn't really discuss it with me, and that's very hurtful that you didn't do that. Now looking back, it's like so ludicrous, but in the moment it felt so real and again justifiable. And I mean, this is the thing, when we experience these codependent triggers, we're going to find support. We're going to find people that will get in our corner and say, "Nuh-uh, girlfriend, you don't have to deal with that. No, sister, I told you." Like, you will find people that will be a catalyst for your codependency. So it's going to take a lot of self-awareness and commitment to being conscious of your real motivating factors there. And so I just dug in, and I was like, finally, I got to the realization that, geez, like I don't want to have the responsibility of someone else's life and how it turns out or what they choose and stuff. Good God, I can hardly handle my own, so that's quite enough. But here I am like trying to figure out everyone else's stuff too. And then I get mad when they don't ask me what I thought and do what I said. I would get really frustrated when people wouldn't take my advice or do what I suggested. And again, that's another sign of codependency, because true unconditional love from a secure place says, I can give you my input or my insight or experience based on what I know and what I've lived through in my own journey, but I can't really give you advice because I'm not inside your head and I don't have all the past experiences that you had. So there is no actual way that I will be able to tell you what to do in this situation, because what the universe is teaching you is very different than what I was supposed to be learning in that similar situation or whatever. The truth is, we can never truly advise people on how they should go about their journey. Like, it's just that plain and simple. So once I realized that I was so liberated, because I'm like, oh my gosh, now I can just listen to my friends. I can just listen and be a witness to their experience and stand beside them and hold their hand and love them and let them have their journey and make their choices and their mistakes and learn what they're supposed to and move on and grow and expand and all these beautiful things. And I don't have to be in the middle of it. What an amazing thing. I mean, it has totally changed my life. And so, shortly after that first test, a few weeks later, I had another test from another friend, and my initial reaction was, well, that's not what I would have chosen. And they really need to do what I would do, what I think I would do if I was in their exact situation. I mean, how do we know? We don't know. But I reeled it in, and I was like, you know what? Already I'm starting to feel a dissonance in my heart towards this person, and I don't want that, because I love that person. That's one of my people. And so I'm going to make a different choice here, and I'm going to make it quicker than I did the first time. And I'm going to choose to love unconditionally, and I'm going to let them have their experience, and I'm going to let them make their choice, and I'm just going to sit here and be in their corner. And that's all I have to do. I don't have to say what my opinion is. I don't have to say anything except for, I love you. I see that you're learning and growing, and like, you're really on this journey. Like, what? I mean, I'm not that cliche when I talk to my friends, only on these videos. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so that's like the next little nugget of codependency. Like, really think about, what position do you take when someone does something that you wouldn't necessarily do or you don't necessarily agree with? Do you take a defensive, like, what the, you didn't consult me? Or, well, that's not what I would have done, and I'm going to make sure you know it. Like, do you truly understand that that's not what I would have done, and I am not approving of your choice? Like, that stance is like screaming codependent. Like, you need to step into a different space. And it can be really challenging, but it's so freeing. And what happens is you get to love unconditionally, which in turn just automatically makes you feel better about yourself and that person, and then they get to be loved unconditionally, which creates this beautiful bond, and you are able to grow closer and deepen the relationship, and that is just, it's totally worth it. So, and there's so much more fruit that comes from you making a secure choice and step towards your friends and your people. So I highly encourage it. I highly encourage you reading this book. Everyone should read it. It's amazing. And also Codependent No More is another good one. So get on this bandwagon, because it's freaking amazing. You're gonna love it, and we're gonna talk more about it next time. Okay, have a good day.